Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We talk all the time about how expensive it is to live here on the Suncoast, but would you believe in some ways we are doing a lot better than other communities here in Florida? The Suncoast median household income is just above $53,000. That's below the national average, but higher than other areas like Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. What does that mean, and who is left on the outside looking in? Our subject tonight. But first, tonight's top 7 stories at 7. If you think we're getting a handle on the heroin epidemic, we're not. Not even close. The Sarasota Police Department held a press conference today to discuss the local opioid epidemic. There have been 44 overdoses since July 1st, and 8 of those were fatal.
If you do this drug, you are going to die. This map to my right shows July 1st to last night. And if you look at this map, you see that the blue pins indicate the overdoses that we've had in our city since then.
Police report dealers are lacing heroin with other substances like fentanyl, which can be even more dangerous. An internal investigation is underway into stolen evidence at the Bradenton Police Department. We're told the issue was actually uncovered by a former officer who is now running for mayor. Former Deputy Chief and mayoral candidate Warren Merriman says he saw problems in the way Bradenton PD handled its evidence room.
Chief Bevan should have came out at the forefront. If she said she was hired to clean up the property and evidence room, she should have came out with that simple fact, and that would have been it. The people would have at least known that an active investigation was being conducted.
Chief Melanie Bevan calls many of Merriman's accusations false. She says, quote, "The department's ethics and reputation will not be questioned or compromised in an effort to further anyone's personal agenda." The trial of a Sarasota woman accused of trying to kill her 6-year-old daughter continues. Ashley Parker is charged with attempted murder. Police say they found the Parker's daughter in her home with stab wounds. Today, the state rested its case. Parker appeared to get emotional while watching graphic photo evidence of her daughter's life-threatening injuries. Earlier this week, Parker's daughters described how her mother stabbed her, put her in the bathtub, and tried to drown her. Closing arguments are expected tomorrow. Mosaic is being sued by residents living near a Polk County fertilizer plant where more than 200 million gallons of contaminated wastewater leaked into one of the state's main underground sources of drinking water. The proposed class action suit seeks to recover damages for the residents of possible loss of private wells, water testing and treatment. Phosphate supplier Mosaic says the sinkhole opened up beneath a pile of waste material. The sinkhole is about 45 feet wide. The company says it is monitoring groundwater. Finishing touches are being put on a new public library in Venice. Crews are working on the Hamilton building, which will open its doors on October 4th. The county's public director of libraries says air quality tests show there is no mold in the building.
There was an initial test, and those results were shared and are available on the county website on the Venice page. And then recently there was another test, a follow-up, and that information is available as well.
The former Venice Public Library was closed down last year after mold was found throughout the building. An architect and construction manager have been hired for what will eventually be the new permanent Venice Public Library. 5,000 under acres of land in Northport are up for sale, but one group doesn't want anyone to build on it. The Conservation Foundation of the Gulf Coast is looking to buy the Orange Hammock Ranch property so developers cannot build on it. The group wants to help conserve the land. The deadline to seal the deal is approaching.
We're negotiating with the Water District, Sarasota County, City of Northport, Peace River Water Authority, and the state of Florida. The owners are giving us some clues that they are willing to extend if we show significant movement. And those two words are a little bit vague.
The Northport Chamber of Commerce has said conserving the land would be a waste of valuable land. Good news for movie buffs in Manatee. Plans are in the works to build a 34,000 square foot movie theater and more than 9,000 square feet of retail space. It would be located near the Ellington Outlets. OM Cinemas is interested in building the development. Before the plans can move forward, approval is needed from Manatee County's Planning Commission and county commissioners. And Bob, that is good news for movie buffs in Manatee.
I'll tell you, a good day to go see a movie, too. A hot one this afternoon. As a result of that, the heat index up near 100 degrees this afternoon. And this being the first day of fall. Looks like we won't see any cooler weather head our way anytime soon either. A nice sunset tonight. Currently at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, it is 87 degrees. The heat index still at 94 and the dew point 73. Winds out of the west-northwest. That west-northwest wind is keeping things just a little bit cooler near the coastline, where highs today were into the upper 80s. You can see only a few showers here and there moving across the peninsula. Not much at all. Not normally what we'd expect this time of year. Usually it's pretty much lit up with storms, but the dry air that has filtered in has really shut down the storms. The storms try to build. They produce a few lightning strikes and then they quickly fade away. They've been dotting mainly inland areas as of late. This one near Lily into southwestern portions of Hardy County. I mentioned that dry air. Look at it just spilling southward into the Gulf of Mexico and across at least half of the peninsula of Florida, all the way down into Sarasota County. A little bit more moisture tied up down to our south, where they've had some bigger storms today near Miami and also down near Naples and Marco Island, as well as into the Keys. The evening planner shapes up to be pretty quiet around here. 81 degrees, still warm at 11 o'clock, and just a few clouds anticipated. And the tropics, although active, looks like we'll have more on that a little bit later, but temperatures for lows tonight will be into the mid to upper 70s, low to mid 80s by 10 o'clock tomorrow. The tropics I mentioned are active. There are some watches and warnings up for Bermuda. But for the most part, there's another system coming off the coast of Africa. We'll talk more about that. And the long-range models are showing that system to be a rather intense storm down the road. So we'll talk about that a little later.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, new stats about household incomes. Sarasota is below the national average, but the Suncoast is beating out other areas like Tampa, Miami, and Orlando. That story is coming up.
On Animal Outtakes, every week, it's a new animal adventure. From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in. Tune in to Animal Outtakes to find out what they have to say. Watch Animal Outtakes this weekend on ABC 7.
The all-new MySuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
Using baby powder or talc may lead to ovarian cancer. $72 million was awarded in a recent talc lawsuit after lawyers found secret internal documents showing that the baby powder manufacturer knew about the link between talcum powder and ovarian cancer for decades, but never told the public. If you were diagnosed with ovarian cancer after using talcum powder on a regular basis, you may qualify for a cash award. Call 800-793-6621. 800-793-6621.
Hi, I'm Dylan Radigan. The world is brimming with possibilities. And that keeps me busy. My latest invention may be able to feed and sustain communities around the world. My team and I are always on the go, meeting new people and seeing new places. I produce films that I really care about. It's an honor to speak to audiences around the world. When people come together, meaningful work gets done. How do I do all this? Well, that part's easy. Hotelplanner.com.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers, high rate and high pay, never leave you alone.
Debt is really sucking the life out of them. He's picking up the phone.
Oh, no, not Consolidated Credit.
With one call, they can lower their credit card rates.
And consolidate their bills into one low payment.
They'll pay off their debt in no time.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Because debt sucks.
Call 800-201-0230. That's 800-201-0230. Call now. They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
We often talk about the price of living in paradise and how many hardworking families are squeezed out of living and enjoying the Suncoast. But would you believe median household income in Sarasota is actually higher than, let's say, Tampa? ABC 7's Bobeth Yates has been following this story and has more.
They say numbers don't lie, and the average household income in Sarasota and Bradenton metropolitan area is higher than other metropolitan areas like Miami, Tampa, and Orlando.
So considering the salary that folks get, there's a labor market just like there's a market for anything else. So it comes down to supply and demand of labor.
USF Sarasota Manatee professor Tom Becker is referring to the forces that help to drive